Hey, my name's Izzy. This is Rolling Virtual Cards coming at you with another Magic the Gathering deck building deck. This is Aragorn the Uniter. This is a 2-4. I made two versions of this deck. One is a very, very fun CEDH competitive deck. The other's stupid. Stick around to see what I mean by stupid. So, Aragorn the Uniter's fun. It's red, green, white, blue for a 5/5 legendary creature human noble. Whenever you cast a white spell, you get a 1/1 white human soldier creature token. Whenever you cast a blue spell, you scry 2. Whenever you cast a red spell, Aragorn deals 3 damage to target opponent. Whenever you cast a green spell, target creature gets +4/+4 till end turn. This deck just wins off of infinitely casting Dockside Extortionist. So there's other competitive versions of this deck that you can look up, but this one's my version that I built that you could take to any CEDH level table and win games with. You're gonna be running a lot of quick cheap drops. The green cards might seem dumb because it's only gonna plus, but making this guy a 9/9 is insane. You're getting him dealing 9 damage, or at least removing something. Evan's Building is ramp, Birds is ramp, Esper Sentinel is draw power, Noble Hierarch is ramp, Ragavan is ramp, interaction, card steal, stuff like that. Reminder, like the green cards are going to get you an extra blocker usually, or someone to deal damage. Red cards are going to be dealing 3 damage to an opponent. Sylvan Safekeeper is protection. Archivist of Ogmog is card advantage. Bloom Tinder is ramp. Dockside Extortionist is ramp and your win con because you can infinitely cast it running some combos. The one I run is one of the main ones I run is Baron Master Wizard. So you can pay 2 to sacrifice a permanent, return target creature to its owner's hand. So 3 to get this out on the field, 2 for Dockside, meaning 5 total. And then 2 more so the idea here is quite simple. You get them on the field for 5, you pay 2, sacrifice a permanent, return Dockside, recast Dockside, return Dockside, recast Dockside. Dockside makes treasury each time it enters. This is going to allow you to deal that extra damage. That's the concept there. So overall, I guess so that's how you win, because you infinitely cast Dockside with Aragorn on the field, allowing you to just deal 3 damage to your opponents infinitely when you need the game. It's fun. It works pretty well. Drann's Magistrator is here. Stacks Piece stops your opponents from casting their commanders or stuff outside the game. Grant Abolishes protections. Thassa's Oracle is here. I don't remember why it's here in my CDH deck that doesn't have black in it. Oh, yeah, because Lion's Eye Diamond. I guess it's a backup win in that regard. Honestly, I mean, like, I'm just gonna... That's Tamir Sabertooth now. That's better. Tamir Sabertooth is just a backup for Baron, with Dockside. Just keep bouncing it back, recasting it, win the game. Elvis Spirit Guide is here for ramp. Eternal Witness is here to win the game. Plus, you can win off of it. And I think am I running Lightning Bolt? I'm not running Lightning Bolt. That's another mistake. Man, I'm newer to CEDH, I guess, and don't necessarily always run the best stuff, I would personally say. Oh, you can win off a braid, it looks like, so I don't know. Probably not necessary in this deck, but you can win off recasting Eternal Witness and stuff. In some cases. Imperial Recruiter is here to go grab Dockside or Brain. Baron. Ranger Captive Eos is protection, stops your opponent from winning, and grabs your Esper Sentinel. Simeon Spirit Guide's here for ramp. Tamir Sabertooth is a win con, and it's a 4/3 that can also make itself indestructible and protect other stuff. Seedborn Muse. Why Seedborn Muse? In a deck that doesn't do a lot of stuff like with Seedborn Muse. Mainly because I like getting its effects off on other people's turns, so I actually like it in this deck. Because I run a lot of instances, 30. But sorcery-wise, gamble for tutoring, get probe, because it's get probe. Finale of Devastation, because I can go grab my win con, or if I have infinite mana, I can just run out that way. Usually just go grab Dockside and win, or Brain. Transmute Artifact, because it's a Transmute Artifact, it's just a good card. And it also gets me to my Artifact win con, which is Cloudswift Carrier, which wins with Dockside as well. Eldritch Evolution, again, just gets me to my combo pieces. Jessica, it's a tutor. Jessica's Will is dig and mana. And Savine's Reclamation is allows me to try to win a second time. Pact of Negation, Counterspell, Bounce Spell, Counterspell, Tutor, Counterspell, Tutor, Artifact, Enchantment, Destruction, Recursion, Counterspell, 4 counterspells usually. That's also a counterspell usually. Protection and prevent my opponent from winning. Counterspell, removal, tutor, removal. Brain freeze is a combo piece. Removal. Tutor / interaction. Removal / you can return your Dockside to get more ramp. Tutor, protection. It's basically counterspell. Lots of counterspells. And the blues do allow you to scry to, which I like doing. Ramp, combo piece, ramp, combo piece. The One Ring. It's the One Ring. Card draw, ramp, combo piece, / recursion, and 37 good lands. It's CDH, so I'm running like the dual lands, the shock lands, the fetch lands. Other than those, I'm running Mana Confluence, Cavernous Souls for protection, City of Brass, Command Tower, Exotic Orchard, Gemstones. No utility lands in this case. I really just want to make sure I can hit my cards mana. The biggest downside of this deck in CDH is that it's a 4-color deck, where its commander requires 4 pips, making it a much harder deck to cast. So this is the CDH deck. Your entire point is to kind of play a mid-range. You're playing mid-range control, 100% mid-range control. Slow the game down, stop your opponents from winning, go off with some protection. You're not in black, so you do lose out on like Ad Naz and Pyramid of the Abyss and better tutors. But Sans Black is fun. It's a cool deck. I like 4-color decks. You will definitely get some wins in with this game, with this deck. And the fact that it's 4 pips is why we're also not running any Mana Dork that doesn't tap for a different color, because that doesn't help me get Aragorn out. But you'd be surprised. Sometimes Aragorn late game is just hitting people for like 9, a second foot, 13, taking people out with commander damage and CDH. It's fun. So the other version of this deck is Aragorn, the Uniters of 1 pip. Now, funny thing is, I have this deck actually built in real life. It's just a fun, all my stupid multicolored spells. Super fun way, because you get to trigger his effect multiple times. This is not that deck. This is going to be a completely different style of deck that I hope you all like. Go for it if you want to. You'll get the idea. It's called 1 pip for a reason. Other than the lands, every single card in this deck is 1 pip. You're running 30 lands because you don't need a lot of lands. I love this idea because there's more cards I'll probably add to this from other sets that have come out from now. But let's go through it. Same card, same idea, cast spells. Outside of Life's Bounty, Protection. You can pay 1 to sacrifice it to give protection to Aragorn, so he stays alive, and it gives you a 1/1 creature. Ramp, removal, but it also buffs him, which is great. But this is a great removal spell. Dragon Master Outcast does a lot for a 1-drop. Takes not a lot in the beginning. At the beginning, nothing. But eventually, if you have 6 lands, you're going to be all like, hey, check this out. This is a great 1-drop. Alvis Mystic is ramp. And in this version, I'm fine with these cards because they're going to pump him. And they're good to get my other 1-drop green cards out. Elvish Reclaimer, this is just great to go grab lands and put it on the battlefield. Sacrifice land, switch land, prefer land, put it on the battlefield, tap, then shuffle your library. You can get better lands, and he gets bigger, making this guy 3/4 is pretty good. Esper Sentinel is in this deck because card draw. Essence Wardens, this is life gain. Action to life gain is great. Fairy Seer, this is going to scry you 2. It's a 1/1 flyer, so you can hit people. It scries you 4 if Aragorn's on the field. It won't scry 2 twice. Ramp, protection, ramp. Can't be blocked. Interesting enough, I'm running the can't be blocked cards because they're not bad. They scry you 2, and I'm just going to hit someone for 1. Why not? Protection, ramp. This is actually a 1-drop that triggers 2. Both a 1/1 counter and pumps something by 4. On top of that, it works because it itself is an engine allowing you to create elves to make more, and then you can eventually make more elves. But because you're making soldiers with Aragorn, you can use him to, you can use Rhys the Redeemed to make more soldiers. Ramp, protection, unblockable, life gain, draw. Protection, unblockable, interaction, so removal, and I guess it's not technically ramp, but it does grab you a land, which mana fixing. Crash Through is interesting. Target creature gains trample to end of turn, draw a card. Perfectly fine giving my Aragorn trample, especially if I played a few green cards to give him bigger. Get Probe, it's a free card. You're basically running 1 less card. You're running 98 cards and 44 life, or 38 life, basically. Ponder, good card advantage with Preordain. Target creature can't block this turn. And it draws a card. So a lot of these are just like simple cantrips. 1-drop, draw me a card, get me out of this. Deal 3 damage to an opponent. And then something can't block. If they've only got 1 creature, Aragorn might be able to get in and hit them. Serum Vision, more card advantage or card selection for these more or less. And Vandal Blast is technically a 1-drop. Technically. You can overload it though. Go ahead. Board wipe. Counter spell, so more interaction. Stops your opponents from winning. Stops you from losing. Card selection, and all these blue ones are going to allow you to scry too, which helps you get more situated on what you want to use to cast. This is going to draw you a card, and it's going to deal 3 damage to each opponent. It's the same thing. Like, yeah, this gives them haste, which is good, so Aragorn can attack right away. But it's mainly just like a throwaway 1-drop card that draws me into another card and deals 3 damage to an opponent. Lightning Bolt is fun. 3 damage to any target. So, interaction in the form of a counter. Interaction for artifact and enchantments. This is card recursion. Opt is just card selection. Path to Exile is removal. Same with Pognify and Rapid Hybridization. Shadow Rift. Target creature gains Shadow until draw cards. This can replace itself, and it's going to let Aragorn hit someone. Silence is great. Stops opponents from winning. Stubborn Nihil is just a counter. Since I do control a creature with power 4 grade with Aragorn, he does just counter the spell instead. Swords Power is interaction, removal, in the form of removal. Thought Scour is card selection. Enchantments. Abundant Growth is going to be, it draws you a card, and then it just fixes your mana coloring. Authority of the Console is great. It slows your opponents down, gains you some life. Cleric class also gains you some life, and then eventually pumps your creatures and gives you some even more life. Gained. Curiosity is going to be card draw, perfectly fine. Curse of Opulence is going to be treasures, so ramp. Exploration of ramp. Hyena Umbra is going to be first. It's protection for Aragorn. Keen Sense is draw. Liege's Landing is going to give you a vampire, and then if you attack with 3 or more creatures, transform it. Its transform side creates tokens. That's good. You can win off those. Paladin's class is going to give you protection and then buff your creatures. Raincore is going to give trample to Aragorn, which is useful. Again, Sticky Fingers treasures off combat and draw if the enchanted creature dies. Wide Growth is ramp. Wizard's class is gonna, I guess it's that when you draw a card, put it on counter a creature you control. It's the one you're really looking at, because that allows you to buff your Aragorn. And 30 lands, just whatever lands you feel like running. I ran one of each basic and then tried to push for better ones that don't come in tapped. Again, there are other cards you could probably run, some new ones that came out, because I made this like 4 months ago when this was first released. So like there are a few more you could run, but I like this idea. It's really funny. I've seen many plays to play Aragorn. It's such a unique commander. One of the fun ones I've seen is running the Dragon's Approach, because it just deals 3 damage to your opponents, and then you get bigger dragons, which is fun. So you're like approaches which deal damage to your opponents, deal more damage to your opponents. Really funny that way. Persistent Partitioners can also work in this deck, kind of as a mill thing, and you get to scry, so you get to see which ones. Oh, I don't want these cards in the graveyard, put them on my bottom. Oh, I do want these cards in my graveyard. Interesting in that regard. We don't have green or white cards that say you can run as many as you want. Waiting to see that. This works as a soldier commander too, a token commander. There are so many ways you can build this. If you want to build it a better way than this, just add other, like, keep the pips. Focus on pips. Like, I don't have artifacts in this deck, guys. But focus on the colored pips and just add cards that have like 3 color pips or 4 color pips, because that triggers these all multiple times. If it's red, green, blue, you get the red, green, and blue effect. But this is really fun, because you know you're going to always have something to play. And there's always going to be more stuff. And I love building decks that stand the test of time, because the next set comes out, you're just looking at 1-drops. 1-drop colored spells. What do we got? Oh, check that out. That's such a cool 1-drop that can go into Aragorn. Let's remove this lesser card for this better card. When you can do that with a deck and you're excited, it's fun. So those are my Aragorn, the United decks. Peace. Love and peace.